Welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now we're going to talk about the new gun rules that went into effect. One of my listeners mentioned in a comment because I had not really been paying attention. But apparently, some new restrictions went into place on what requires people to register as a licensed dealer of firearms. And this is all because back in 2022, Joe Biden and Congress passed um, let me find it here, the community right here from the White House itself. In 2022, President Biden accomplished what many had tried for the last 20 years. He succeeded in expanding background checks by signing into law the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. It was something that was agreed upon not just by Democrats, but Republicans as well. And it was one of the first times in 20 years we've been able to get anything meaningful passed. Now, what does it do? What it does is it restricts the people that are selling guns to be sure they're licensed. If they sell at gun shows, they're typically before they were able to do it sometimes unlicensed. There were some 20% of gun sales in America that were being sold at gun shows with no background checks. Now it goes on to say in the story here, uh, here it lists types of commercial activity, indicating that a person must become a licensed dealer and run background checks. Absent evidence showing they are not, in fact, they are not engaged in the business of firearm dealing. For example, if a person is repetitively selling guns of the same or similar make and model within 1 year of purchase, or if within they're selling guns within 30 days of purchase, they need to register as a dealer so they can run background checks. Before that, unless they can show evidence that they aren't dealing guns, that they aren't selling guns like that, then they need to be registered as a dealer. That way they can run background checks on people. Because as they have found through lots of research and lots of study, most of the people that get those guns aren't legally able to have guns. It doesn't matter, according to this new rule, the new final rule from the ATF, it does not matter if you're selling them out of your home, out of your brick and mortar store. It doesn't matter if you're dealing them out the trunk of your car. If you're selling firearms repeatedly, you must register as a dealer now and make sure the background checks are run properly on the people buying your firearms. Now, will this stop all the violence? No, but as I've always said on this channel, and I've said about gun violence over and over again, if we can stop just one, if we can stop just one felon with acts, with the will to act violently, if we can stop one person who is mentally ill from obtaining a firearm who shouldn't otherwise have one, I say good for us. Because no, as President Obama used to say, we can't stop every act of violence. But can we just start with one? By shoring up this loophole, the President of the United States, as well as the U.S. Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, are saying that they want to do something. Because the majority of Americans want something done about the gun violence problem in this country. We are literally the only country in the world with this massive problem with gun violence. And sure, there are going to be people out there that are going to be mad about this. And I don't care. Let them be mad. It doesn't infringe their right to own a firearm. To require to run a background check. If you're not a criminal, you shouldn't have a problem with that. Right? I do believe there needs to be more stringent laws, more red flag laws out there. Those aren't being implemented the way I would like them to be. But we can be happy with this. This will at least help some. It'll at least help some gun crime. So is it the end all be all of gun control? No. It's not going to stop everything. It's not going to stop a whole lot of crime. But it could prevent one. If one person that is not supposed to have a firearm is denied a firearm and it stops them from committing a crime, I think that's perfectly reasonable, perfectly within reason, and perfectly within our Constitution to do. Now, there are going to be people, in the gun advocacy groups like the NRA, they're going to try and take this to court. You never know what the Supreme Court will do. But at the end of the day, it was passed by Congress, by both chambers, in a bipartisan way. It's clearly what the American people want. The American people want common sense gun laws. They don't want to infringe on people's rights to own them. Most liberals own guns that I know. But you know what? They've gone through the proper channels of doing it right. And that matters. You shouldn't be able to just, you know, sell guns out of the trunk of your car because you bought them somewhere. I believe just like every vehicle, every gun should be registered. So if that gun is used in a crime, we know where to trace it back to. Because you know what? That registration isn't going to be used for anything other than tracing that gun when it's used in a crime. And that's it. This isn't a gun grab. No one's asking you to give up your guns. No one's asking you to turn in your guns or any of that bullshit. They're just saying that if you're going to sell guns, you need to register as a dealer so you can run background checks to make sure the people you're selling guns to aren't criminals. And now there are repercussions if you don't do that. So that's what that is about, apparently. Um, One of my viewers mentioned it in a comment the other day, and so I did some more looking, and well, there you go. I found what I could find about it, and so that's what it is. It's about curtailing the number of criminals and people that shouldn't have a firearm getting a firearm. That's really what it comes down to. So anyhow, y'all have a great day. I'll see you down the road, and we'll see if I get another video out this week.